Welcome to TechForce podcast. Today we have Abeer Khedr, Director of Information Security for National Bank of Egypt. Right. So let's get straight into it. Abeer, welcome to TechForce podcast.
Thank you, Jay. Hello to you and to your audience. Pleasure to be with you.
Pleasure is ours as well. So why don't you start off by telling about yourself? Just give us a quick overview.
Yeah. So I've been with the National Bank of Egypt for since 2011. Before that, because you were asking before the call, how did I get into the cybersecurity career? I came from a related field. So I studied computer science at the university here in Egypt and the American University. And then afterwards, I was at the early years of my career, a programmer / business analyst. Then, while I was on maternity leave, my husband suggested he was back then working at Pricewaterhouse. So he said, Abeer, the coming years, the role of cybersecurity is going to be very important. So I suggest to you that you study this field and switch to this field and focus on that field when you resume work. So I did like the idea, and I took the time that I had off work back then to study the different certifications related to information security. And most of them were in those 2-year periods. Then later, I was lucky enough to join Deloitte in Egypt, working first as in their IT audit team. Then I moved to do cybersecurity consulting projects. We had clients from different industries here, from telecom, from banking, from manufacturing, but the core of them were in the banking industry. Then I moved from Deloitte to National Bank here, and I thought this was a challenging yet very exciting experience because, when you're in a consulting firm, you advise, you're the consultant, you give them the advice, they have to go through the implementation challenges, right? Yeah. But now if you're in the client side, you have to do it yourself. You have to face the challenges and you have to, get it to work. So I thought this is, although challenging, yet very exciting.
Wow. So tell me, which part do you find it most challenging in your current role?
It is size and complexity of the environment. So in my previous role at Deloitte, as I mentioned, we had clients from different industries and different also size. There are small banks, medium banks, large banks. But here, the main challenge is size and complexity of the environment. Also, we have an international outreach. We have remote branches in New York, Shanghai, Sudan, London. We have remote subsidiaries and branches, and this outreach makes it, a global bank as well. So,
sorry, I should have asked you about your current role first, and then ask you about challenges. But tell us about your current role. You are Director of Information Security. Is that equivalent to CISO? You're the CISO, or?
Yes,
right.
Yes. I'm the group head. I'm the group. So as I said, we are here, the head office in Egypt with international subsidiaries. So I'm the CISO of the head office, including the remote subsidiaries. So this is my current role here at the bank. Yes, Chief Information Security Officer.
Wow, I'm sure that comes with loads of responsibilities.
Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah. So, and lots of regulations. So it's lots of responsibilities and lots of regulations. That's banking is a very highly regulated industry here in Egypt as well as abroad. So in the UK, there is GDPR. In the US, they have Department of Financial Services. They do have a cybersecurity regulation that has a lot of requirements, and we as a foreign bank are required to implement it. So it's one of the regulations added to what we have to do here.
Wow. So how do you keep up with all the regulations?
Keeping up with the regulations, of course, is a big challenge, but we prioritize them, we have so many schedule full of, audits related to regulatory audits and certification audits. And we have our schedule full of audits. So we prioritize according to the deadlines and the requirements. And we try as much as possible to achieve synergies when implementing the regulations. So like, for example, if data protection regulations require incident response, a certain incident response process and procedure, then it's also required under PCI DSS. It's also required for ISO 27001, for which we are certified. So we put the right process in place that achieves, compliance with this requirement across multiple regulations. So regulations do share a lot of common processes and controls required. Many of them share, I recall ISO 27001 and PCI DSS. You have more than 70 control areas common. So you implement them once and they satisfy many. So
wow.
So this synergy helps us with the loads.
Okay. So ISO 27001 PCI, I believe,
Yes.
are global
Yes.
regulations anyway.
Yes.
Are there any country-specific regulations that you have to adhere to as well?
Yes, we have the central bank in Egypt regulations. That relate to security for mobile payments, for internet banking. We have several of them that we have to comply with. And we also, in the pipeline, Egypt is going to have its own data protection regulation, similar to GDPR.
Oh, wow.
Very similar. And it's about to be, it has already been approved by the ICT committee in parliament, and it's about to be voted on in the General Assembly. Once voted on, we will have to comply. So it's so we have a GDPR coming also in Egypt, our own version of it.
The storm is coming.
Yes. Although, for our remote branches, for example, the UK, they are already compliant with GDPR because they fall in the scope of GDPR.
Yeah.
Yeah.